Good evening, folks. It's Friday night. Welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. I'm JP, and joining me tonight, we've got Ryan, Alan, and our good man, Mr. Barry Bannan. Well, Barry, it's been a wee couple of weeks, mate, since you were last on with us. It's good to see you, mate. I hope you're well, and look forward to the chat with you.
All good, all good. Oh, it's glad to see you again, Troops, as well. Not been on for a while, so like you said, it's good to see you again, and it's always a pleasure coming on. Always had good chats, and it being the big one again on Sunday, it's a bit of a tradition, me coming on before these games, so I'm looking forward to it. How you all been keeping?
All good.
Yeah, I'm all
mate,
right.
Very well.
Brilliant.
All good.
And Alan, just as Baz says, it's good to be back on, mate. I just want to say cheers for sending us that photo, mate, to upload the thumbnail for tonight, mate. It was a good idea. It seems to have went down well. I'll put up a comment in a wee second, but hope you're well, mate. It's good to see you.
Oh, I hope it's went down well. I kind of stole it off somebody on Twitter, I think, so I don't think it's been put about much, so it's nice to have it out, but I'm very well. Hope you guys are well. Obviously Barry on, we've got a guy with fair hair with outstanding football knowledge, and then we've got Barry Bannan. No, it's great to have a kind of professional footballer on, especially with kind of Barry's experience. It's always a great chat, and especially coming up to this weekend, looking at a massive game for Celtic to right some of the wrongs that's happened to maybe over the last few games with that regard. So, yeah, looking forward to a chat, and especially looking forward to this weekend. And again, hope everyone's well.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's good to get Jim Craig's grandson on again as well. Like you talk tonight, wee man, it's a good choice.
Well, you've got to spruce up for a derby game, haven't you, mate? So I thought go in my tan, so I had to wear it, not mean the hoops. But I'm good, mate, all good. Looking forward to the game on Sunday, like Alan says. I think we'll probably delve into it, but we'll need to right a few wrongs, probably, as the manager says, and I think the captain says it as well. So looking forward to the chat, looking forward to the game on Sunday. Looking forward to get Baz's thoughts as well. It's always good to talk to Baz, and like he says, before these games, he's always knowledgeable about the captain, derby games and stuff, mate. So it's always good to get Baz's thoughts. So looking forward to it, and hope everybody's looking forward to the game as well.
Yeah, we'll come to some comments. We'll get wee Theo Isaac, he's in the night. He's just puts his thumbs up and a wee 100 there. Fantastic dozy. And Jem next up. Evening JP, Alan, Barry, and the chat. Nice picture, guys. But I doubt anyone will see a guard of honour over there on Sunday. Brian Moore's also said, evening, guys. Thumbnail pictures, class. We get dug up for our timekeeping again. I do apologise. We get held up a couple of things there before we started, so apologies. I'll take the dairy for that one. Chris Money, he says, good evening, boys, and the chat. Our good man, Terry McDermott, joining us again in the chat tonight. He says, happy new haircut, JP. Evening, Ryan, Alan, and Barry. No, I've not had my haircut, mate. I was like this on Monday when you seen me. Must be that old age kicking in again, Francis. You keep talking about yourself, pal.
Just need to slip down a wee bit. Just pull the glasses up a wee bit, Franny.
It's when I first read that comment, I'm talking about aging, I thought it actually said Happy New Year, no Happy New Haircut. So it was no, definitely. But I've had this hair since
you were born.
The other day, mate. So since I was born, I was like this on Monday, Francis, when you were on the phone in. So no, mate, definitely no. I've not got gel on either, mate. No, I've definitely not got gel on either. It's just fuzzy and sitting casual on a Friday, as I say. Evening, Kaiser. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're good. And good evening to everybody else that's tuning in with us. Well, as you have said, it is a big one on Sunday. But as it is courtesy to get you on normally before these games, mate, for a chat. Obviously, Celtic wrapped up the title last Saturday. We'll just get your thoughts, Baz, on Celtic this season so far, mate, and obviously approaching this game on Sunday, and then what can we be expecting? on Sunday?
I think they've been brilliant. Obviously, the league table will back us up in that. They've had the odd blip here and there through the season, which can happen. But I think more recently as well, being last week in the semi-final, they've started to put teams to the sword again, scoring lots of goals, playing great attacking football, what the fans want to see. So that'll give them a lift getting into this game as well. Obviously, when you wrapped the title up last weekend, they'll all be in cloud nine going into this game. But as we've said, we need to be at it on Sunday, because we've seen even if you're not really at the races are 90%, they can get a result, and they've showed that the last couple of games against us. So it's gone there with a confidence for the way they've been playing in the recent weeks. But like the boys have touched on earlier, there's a few rhymes that need to be put right, and it's been another massive game. I know people are going and saying Celtic have got no pressure, the title's won. It's a nothing game. There's no such thing as a derby game being a nothing game. It's bragging rights for the city, for the fans, and for the players, because these are the games you get judged on, whether you like it or not. And Celtic obviously have let themselves down in the last few games against them, so we need to go out and show why we're the champions. But it's great because, like I said, we've wrapped up the title. There's no pressure really on us. The job's been done, but you have that self pressure that you'll put on yourself going into these games, that you need to win the game. But like I said, the season's been amazing, but there's probably 2 more games where you need to turn up this season, and one of them's on Sunday, and the next one will be the cup final. And if you can win tomorrow, Sunday, and then win the cup final a few weeks down the line, then it's been an unbelievable season. I know we've touched on it before, JP, about how privileged and probably overprivileged we are in the last odd year. You can never get bored of winning, and you've seen that as well. And last weekend, the celebrations and stuff in the park. People ask me, like some of the boys down here that play in the team, did they not get bored of that? But you can never get bored of it. It's a stupid question. It's people. The only people who probably ask that question is the people who don't win things. Because if you get that feeling every year, it never gets boring. You've seen Jota speaking about it. It's amazing. Cal McGregor, James Forrest, people like that who've done it for years and years. James Forrest said he was a bit emotional and things like that. So winners always want to win and always get the same feeling, no matter if it's 20 times the first time. You'll never get bored. So it's great to see that they wrapped it up in the celebrations, but there's another big one coming Sunday, and I'm sure they can get that job done on Sunday. Then there'll be even bigger celebrations on Sunday in the Wonder Bar for the right reasons.
Aye. There've been any of this strolling into Wonder Bar, picking up your Losers Cup and all that, will there?
Aye, Phil Clamont's going to make an appearance and do the slosh.
He's a DJ.
We did funny. I've heard Chief Celtic won a treble. I've heard they're trying to get him as a speakers night.
He's DJing in Wonder Bar Sunday night.
Aye.
There's a fence with the DJ booth. Is he popping up?
He's giving it the DJ booth with the wee statue for the Art Attack, isn't he?
Oh, brilliant.
Apparently, if you get into Wonder Bar by a certain time, you get a free packet of these, Chris.
Space Shaders, man, brilliant.
Aye. Apparently, when you eat them, you end up a bit bitter later on.
Call me a cheerleader, Derek. I'm not a cheerleader.
Derek, let me speak, Derek.
Guy walking up and down outside. Can we get a speech for you, Jim? Jim, can we get a speech for you, please?
Brilliant.
But aye, 100%. That'd be tremendous, brilliant.
I'm
but Ryan, as
actually full Clermont like that. But it's worked, done it? No, there's supposed to be a new thing in the. Oh, it's no working.
It's not coming up.
No button.
Oh, I read there's a new thing in the iPhone.
You need to put money in the meter, Alan. Charge it up. Aye, Ryan, as Baz says, mate, that's the thing about Celtic, isn't it? The celebrations only go so long, and then, like Baz touches on there, they'd have probably celebrated a couple of beers. You've seen the dressing room pick the photos and the videos and that, and they were all drinking champagne, and so that would have, you know, they'd had a good week's training this week. But it sounds like Brendan, they're fully focused. Callum McGregor, they're fully focused. So you're looking at this game and you just get that feeling, mate. Even sitting here now, you get that feeling there's going to be a slight difference in the way we go into this game. And I think you'll see a different approach to the game. And like Bai says as well, the last three, this will be the last third time now getting in and playing them. We've been miles away in the league. So there's been a big gap in the league between the two teams. And but this time, I think just because, as Brendan says, fans that, you know, people that say these games are meaningless and these games, it means everything to the fans. And again, if Celtic go and win and they do it well and they get a victory, especially there, that gives the fans another day out. Fans will go to the pubs, they'll go and celebrate it. But the celebrations for the weekend there are only small because, as Baz says, another really two big games. And that's the thing with Celtic, there's always that next big game at the end of a big game.
Aye, like he says, in terms of winning the league and having a few beers, they've got every right to go and celebrate. Probably going a 2-day bender, probably, if you want. You know what I mean? They've earned the right to go and have a few beers and go and eat a chippy or whatever they want. They've earned the right to do that. They've worked hard all year, and it wouldn't surprise me if they had Monday off as well, because I'd imagine that it was probably a good celebration. You've got to enjoy the things.
Apparently Brendan cut it short at 7:30 when he'd a spewed in the taxi on the way home.
You've got to celebrate, JP, when you win, if it's any trophy, because it could be your last. No every player wins things. At Celtic, they're privileged in a way where they've no privilege, but us as fans are privileged, like Baz says. We've won trophies, we've seen trophies, we've enjoyed brilliant nights out celebrating trebles and doubles and leagues. But that does mean next year we're going to own it again, because like I keep always saying, I keep always saying every podcast, the year we won nothing, we all felt like, we've nothing to celebrate this year. It was really, really hard to deal with. We've won nothing, because you're used to winning and celebrating. So never take winning leagues for, like Baz says, in terms of does it get boring? I'll take winning the Scottish League every year, enjoying, celebrating, enjoying the trophy day, enjoying. I'll love seeing that every year. So it's no boring. Winning is probably, to a lot of people, it's like a drug. It's some sort of addiction. They try every day to go and win trophies, and that's football's addiction. Go and win games and trophies. That's what you love for. That's what you play football for. So no, I think it's Sunday. There's got to be a different approach. I think put it this way, you see at IBROX, the last 6 games, they've scored 1 goal in all competitions. The last 6 games at IBROX, Queen's Park, St Mirren, Fenerbahce, Motherwell, Hibs and Bilbao, they've no points in the league. So if we then go to IBROX and we get Mullard, that's not a good look either. Do you know what I mean? When they can't do it against other teams, but they can break us apart. So, like you say as well, the gap's massive. So we need to then go and prove that, because the last probably 45 games, it's not looked at. It's not looked at a big gap, realistic on the scores and performances. So I do think the players will have that, like Baz says, and you've said there, Alan, none of this dead rubber nonsense. I've seen people say that in social media. That's nonsense. There's always something to play in these games. Take away the treble potentially winning or the league win.
You think it's more, Brian, a deed rubber for them more than it is for maybe us as well? There.
Well, I've seen fans on our side saying it's a red rubber.
All right, I've not seen that.
That's an excuse for Celtic fans in case they get beat.
There was a lot of excuses the last time, wasn't there? Or
it's already
done it. It's enough game and all that.
These games you've always got something to play for. You've always, because take away the league win and the cup win and potential treble, right? It's you versus them. Like Baz said, bragging rights. No Celtic fan can tell me that if he get beat after that game, they're going to be all happy because they won the league. The league's done. It's that game. So the next 2 or 3 years are going to be, oh, beat after them. That's no beat them in 4 or 5 games now, 90 minutes. It's you've got to try and realistically, right? Potentially you only win 1 out of 4 against them. That's not great. Take away the League 1 and the Cup 1, that's still it's no good. 1 defeat can happen, 2 possibly, but 3, that's unthinkable for me as a Celtic fan. So I think there's a lot on us to start quicker, on the front foot, and they're not in a good place in it. The manager's saying, what's the point? He's basically gave up on the players. He can't get his message across. Liam Kelly's come out and saying, we're not following instructions, we can't get his message. So go and show, like by sides, we're the champions. Go and put a statement out. I had a statement there with the League 1, but on that 90 minutes, go and show why you're champions. Go and show why we're this top team, and go and get a victory and, shall we say, shut IBROX up.
Yeah, Alan, I think as Ryan just says there, that's what my point I was going to bring to you was, I think this is a great opportunity for us to go and show the whole of Glasgow and everybody watching around the world, whoever is watching us, because we do know there's fans in Australia and different other countries, etc. So go and show why we are the champions. It's another great opportunity for us to go and do that.
It's imperative we win this game. Absolutely imperative. That is the last 3 games in 90 minutes that we can't beat them. We might have won in penalties in the Cup, but that's the last 3 games in 90 minutes that we are supposed to be so much better than this other team. They're supposed to be rotten. Managed to turn us off twice and take us to penalties the other game, so they can beat us 3-0 at home. They're obviously not that bad. Or what are we setting up wrong against them? Why are we doing that wrong? A standards dropping. That's what Brendan was saying today, that players needed a bit of a wake-up call. The standards don't fall below that just because we've won the league. That standards don't fall. We expect we have reached that standard. So why should the players be underperforming? We need to make sure we show at the weekend why we're so dominant in regards to kind of winning trophies, etc. Anything other than a win for me, completely unacceptable. It's just it's giving them that wee bit incentive for next year. It's giving that wee bit. What they can be go at. We can beat them. So if we can, they'll think to themselves, if we can kind of brush up on the other games, the other domestic games, whether that be against Dundee, kind of St Mirren, Motherwell, then they're dropping points. If they can brush up that, then they're going to give themselves belief that they can actually have a go at us. Stamp out that belief right now. Go to them and let's see how Celtic can really play. And I think we're all under agreement that if Celtic turn up to their absolute maximum, I think that there's only one winner. Just so happens the last few games against them, we've no turned up at our maximum. They were near it. Just a wee phrase that actually, we've no turned up. And you're looking at the opposition as well. We talk about how we've got an elite level manager, how we've got great players, right? Barry Ferguson was a great football player, but you're looking at his kind of managerial career. It's a guy that kind of hosted Go Radio, and it's a guy that if he's making a formation, he's a 4-1-2, 4-6, 4-7, 8-9-2. He's got 644 Martians in a formation. So if we're letting it lie that we're getting beat twice in a row after somebody that can't even count up to 11, then for me, unacceptable. So I think we need to go out, need to put a performance on. We need a result, and we need to kind of stamp our authority within how dominant we are within this league. I know the points difference. I know that we're on for a potential treble, but these kind of derby games, they're important as well because they're embedded in your mind. A lot of people remember that. A lot of people will remember that come next year. And we're going into the first game at IBROX next year. You want them to remember that we can easily win there. And for me, I think it's massively essential that we pick up 3 points for a good performance at the weekend.
Yeah, but Baz, I don't, in terms of dominance, mate, obviously, as Alan alluded to there, mate, we're on for a treble this season. I think that speaks volumes in itself, doesn't it, realistically, with dominance. So it shows you, obviously, a lot of these teams can very seldom, that they get to win one of the trophies. It's usually one of the cups, because obviously the league doesn't leave the Glasgow area. But when you look at for Celtic to go and blow 2 and 3 of them right out the water, just about every season they're bouncing doubles and trebles, and It's just remarkable, mate. And as the lads have says, that, you know, Sunday's no different in terms of you want to go and you want to put on a performance and you want to try and do our best, because that's the thing, isn't it? You talk about Barry Ferguson. When you look at Barry Ferguson when he's been interviewed, I only hear him ever mentioning things like fight and battle and duels, and you never hear him using coaching terms like passing through lines and making runs on and off the ball, and the way teams are set up against him, like talking about low blocks or mid blocks or high presses. Or he never ever uses that terminology. He's always talking about fighting, and for me, it comes across a bit Nedish, you know, in the way that he addresses it. So, as Alan says there, you talk about Brendan Rodgers in terms of management, mate. It's David and Goliath stuff, isn't it?
No, of course. I think the pedigrees speak for themselves in management. Brendan's been there, done it, done everything in football really as a manager. And Ferguson is starting out really his managerial career. So there's no doubt that we've got the better manager, but it's 11v11 on the Sunday that's going to matter. You can give all the instructions in the world, be so good tactically, but the last game at Parkhead, we were outfought, and it was as plain as day. I think they just showed that they probably wanted it more in the day. They were well drilled, well organised, and you could see they were fighting for the result. And I think that's what got them the result at the end of the day. It wasn't, because let's get it right. If you look at the actual game back, Celtic had all the ball, probably had the better chances. They just fought for it, and sometimes that, you know, in derby games, especially as a fan, you want to see that. And I think we were outfought in the day. We weren't outclassed tactically, or they were the better team in the day. We were the better team. It looks as if they might have rode their luck at times, but they fought for the result.
That's what it looks like.
We were loads of points ahead, and this is what I mean. You can't. That's no good enough. These games need to be won. It doesn't matter if you're 16 points clear or if you're 3 points behind. These games are isolation, and you need to win them. And Sunday's no different. I know we're saying domination by going for another treble. If you actually isolate the games, the derby games this season, they've been quite close in terms of results. So, listen, Sunday you can lose it. It's about losing it in the right way. I know it won't be a thing that Celtic fans want to hear, but if you go there on Sunday and you play brilliant, and for whatever reason you can lose a game, it happens. Your luck might be against you. It's not going to affect anything for next season, but we want to win this game on Sunday. And the people that say it's a dead rubber, and it's not. It's the biggest game of the season for both sets of fans, whether it's the first or whether it's the sixth one that season. These are the biggest games, bigger than Champions League games for me. You want to win these more than anything as a fan, and it should be the same as a player, no matter if the title's wrapped up or not.
Has he been in the dressing room and being a captain of a teammate? Is it easy for the boys and yourself even sometimes to ever take your eye off the ball? And when you go out, you don't mean it to happen, but you end up finding yourself just going through emotions and really try. Before you know it, you're maybe a goal or two down, and then you're trying to work your way back into the game, and you could give a team 45 minutes of a starter, really, in a sense that they'll be a couple of goals up when you come in at half time, and then it takes that for that to happen for you to. And in football, the fans will say to wake up, to get going. But is it easy to kind of take your eye off the ball when you get out there?
I think it depends on the mentality of the individual themselves and where your standards are at as an individual.
What does that come down to, Baz? Preparation, or like, in terms of building up to the game before it?
Well, I've always been. It sounds like a cliche, but I hate getting beat at any sport, whether it's playing cards, snooker, pool. So I've always been a bad loser, whether that's in training, if your team loses a passing game, or I've always carried that through my career, so that.
I hope you don't ever play Alan at pool then, man. Mate, you see the biggest tantrum in your life, man, honest to God.
He's just rages because I've scalped him at snooker and pool the last few times, honestly. He's just, right, what was it like when I beat him 3-0 at snooker? Honestly, he was in the corner greeting, man. I was like,
see, when we went into the hall, I says to him, you need a
queue.
queue. You need a, I says to him, you need a queue, and he went to the back of the queue.
He's trying to hit me with the queue, that's how raging he was. I was like, come on, JP, it's only a game.
I wasn't even, you had the chalk in your hand, I was trying to chalk my queue across the table.
I didn't need to chop my queue, I beat you with a brush. I beat you with the end of a brush, didn't I? That's it.
It's always been for me, I hate losing, so when it does come to the Saturdays, that it will never change because I've always carried it through my career, whether it's training or any sport, really. I've always been a bad loser. So, listen, everybody's different, and you probably could be players that are switching off, but not in these games, because this is where your captain, your manager, the people who have been in and around it for the last couple of years should be reiterating again if it needs reiterated in the changing room what it's all about. Because not just for yourself, for the bragging rights for yourself in the city, it's for the people who pay good money, come every week. It's these games are life or death for them in the city because it lasts for weeks and weeks. I know we won the league and it's hard for Rangers fans to say it at the minute, but they can on Sunday because, like we said, for the few hours if they won, they'll be getting the Celtic fans. So you're playing for them as well. So I don't get the switching off, especially in games like this. Maybe your St Mirren's being disrespecting that where the league's wrapped up and you might be having one eye in the final, the cup final, but in Sunday, no chance. It shouldn't happen.
So in case these players have been here long enough, Barry, but they know how the importance of this game as well. It's not as if these guys are just coming in the door and it's their first kind of Celtic Rangers game of the season. These guys they know they live in this city. They've played enough times for Celtic. The majority of them have been here for at least a few years as well. They know what it means to the city. They know what it means to the club. And for me to drop below the levels that we've done the last couple of games, I think, as Brendan says, they need a reminder of where the standards lie, because they know in the city it's not acceptable to kind of drop below those standards when it comes to the games, I'd say.
Definitely. I think another thing as well that will play a part on Sunday is these boys have lost the last two games, Old Firm games. So I don't know. I know football's changed a wee bit since like your Neil Lennons and Alan Thompsons, but you hear people like that speaking when they lost against Rangers. You couldn't go to the house for 2, 3, 4 days. You couldn't go and do your shopping. You could, but you wouldn't want to because you would want to hide because you would feel embarrassed and you wouldn't want people saying stuff to you. I don't know if this group of players is like that because that was a different generation, but that should be the same for these players because the last thing you want to be doing is losing this game and going out on the Monday and get bumped into people and whether you've won the league or no. Celtic fans will be like, what happened yesterday? It's not a nice feeling, and I know that myself because I played in Sheffield derbies and Birmingham derbies, and if you get beat, it's horrible, mate. It stays with you for a long time till the next game, really. So they've felt that twice recently as well. So hopefully that plays a part on Sunday, and they don't want to feel the same way.
Ryan, you know the feeling of the disappointment, mate, especially if Friday nights don't go too well for you after 11, innit, man? You feel to go into Saturdays, wee man, aren't you?
I'll need to always need to perform for a 10:30 show, mate, or Saturday's a no-go, man.
It's that mindset, mate. You need that mindset.
That's it, mate. But no, I do agree with what Baz is saying there in terms of, I think Callum said it last week as well about they've got to go there and right the wrongs, and so he'll know himself, like Baz says, he's a captain himself, been involved in these games for previous clubs and derbies. Callum, but the same, he'll feel the brunt of that as well, and guys from James Forrest as well, he's been here for years, he knows what these games are about, so I think some of the guys who maybe underperformed at IBROX the last time in the game at Celtic Park, I think they'll be a wee reminder, listen, we need to go here and we need to win, especially the Celtic fans there as well, probably over 2,000 as well this time, so that will help as well. They'll go to the tunnel, they'll see Celtic fans as well, so that's another thing. But that's dead rubber. 2,000 odd fans are paying probably 50 odd quid. That's not dead rubber to them. They're going there to expect a good performance, and let's be fair, we're probably expecting a victory at IBROX, so they're not going there to say, oh, we'll just go for an Ibrox for a day out. That's no what the fans are going for. They're going for, we were the champions, back at Ibrox with fans, hoping to we score and we silence Ibrox, and you see your Celtic fans cheering. That's what derby games are all about. So the fans will be going there to expect a performance. I'm expecting a performance. I'm not saying 4, 5, 6. I'm not saying I just want to go and win. If you win 2-1 with the last kick of the ball, I couldn't care. Just win the game, because I'm a game of Baz as well. It's in terms of, I'll be happy win the league, buzzing with a double, even ecstatically buzzing win the treble. But if we get beaten Sunday for 2 or 3 years, I'll be doing and going. Because I don't want to get beat their games. I'm a bad loser as a fan. I was as a player. I'm like, I hated getting beat. Still hate getting beat as a fan. I walk home. Even when we can see a goal, right? Say it's 3-0, right, and we can see a goal. That's a clean sheet with no goal. Things like that annoy me, even though they shouldn't. But
we've got to the days that you're actually texting me going, big man, depending on this team lineup here, I might not even be got to this game.
I can actually tell you that. Honestly, I can remember, was it 5-0 we played? And I was walking down to the game, and
Stephen Welsh.
It was Stephen Welsh and Scales, and I phoned you about, big man, I'm going home. Obviously, I didn't go home. I was saying it tongue in cheek, but I was like, oh, no, we're going to get beat today. But I know you shouldn't think like that, but it's just your first reaction when you don't expect some players to play. But no, I think the mentality is, I don't know what you feel on it, Baz, but I think because we're probably better shape now in terms of the way we're playing. I think it's 15 goals in 3 games. Surely, no matter what game we're playing, if it's Rangers, Feyenoord, East Stirling, whoever it is we're playing in the next game, surely in the last 3 games we played, surely that bounce factor should stand you in a better stead.
Aye, 100%, but it's not the same. It's not the same games as the last 3 games we've played, is it? We know whether we like it or no, and we can speak about the way he speaks, and they're going to be up for it. It's their cup final, so no matter if you say he speaks like a Ned, he's inexperienced, does he speak about tactics? There's one thing that they're going to be, and that's up for this game. It's the last game of their season, realistically. So they're definitely going to come out and they're going to put it on us. They're going to be physical.
Baz, what is it? 8 games for they've won at Ibrox at home as well in the league? Is it 8?
Aye, mate, but that's I know we look at that record and that, but it's not going to stop them having the fight and for this game. Do you know what I mean? That's obviously can be in the back of their head, but he's going to have them fired up. And like I said, they're going to try and come out the box the same as they done in the last game. They're going to press us probably, put it on us, be physical, try and outrun us. So we need to be up for it. We can't be strolling in there thinking we've won this league, we're better than them, we just need to turn up and we win the dates. That doesn't happen, because we've seen it in the last 2 games. If that was the case, then results don't always go to the best teams. You need to go and earn it, and that's what needs to happen on Sunday. We need to come out and land the first real blow really of the game, whether that's putting sustained pressure or a tackle, just wee things that to show that we're the better team, but we're up for the fight as well.
Yeah, Alan, obviously yourself, mate. What kind of game are you thinking that Celtic will face come Sunday?
Aye, probably the same words as what Barry's saying. I think it will be physical. I think that's probably the way he'll set his team out. Depending on the way the ref wants to kind of go with the game, I think you probably see a lot of cards. I think you see what their managers kind of drumming into them about the kind of physicality, about the hunger, about kind of want to fight. Well, no, actually fight, but fight for the kind of the game, etc. So I can see it being a really physical game. I think we need to try and match that to a certain degree, but we need to make sure that our football's come through as well. We need to make sure we're on our game and we're doing what we do best, basically. I'm looking at obviously the injury issues that we've got currently. You know, looking at most likely going to be kind of Greg Taylor and Anthony Ralston as their coaching setup, their management, and they're going to target the wings now. I think that's probably a possibility. I think when you look at especially Charlie's maybe looked decent for them in games. So I would maybe expect him to kind of press is quite high, especially being at home, and I think they'll probably target the wing areas. So yeah, I just think we need to try. I don't think we'll be able to maybe match up with them physically. I think they maybe get some more physical players, but we need to more or less get there and make sure we show our kind of technical ability, make sure we show why we're dominant in the league and why we're kind of on course for a treble. If we do that, and if we've got the hunger that we've not shown in the last couple of games against them, if we match them for hunger, I can see us kind of getting the victory. But as Barry said, it's not going to be a walkover. It's not going to be a turn up number. We need to make sure that we're absolutely on it, especially with some of the kind of injuries that we've got that's been announced today.
Yeah, Ryan, obviously yourself, how do you see the game panning out and what Celtic are likely to meet on Sunday?
Similar what Alan and Barry are saying there. I think they'll be physical. I think it's one thing Barry Ferguson has installed a wee bit is a bit of fight. I might have no won a lot of games, but you can see when they're playing, there's a bit more determination about them in terms of their physical attributes. And listen, sometimes, like Barry says, ability can get you so far, but if you've no got that in you, you're not going to just get it. It's got to be in you. But it's probably the only thing I've been critical of for a long time, even though we've been very successful, is I don't think we're physical enough. I don't think when it comes to fisticuffs, I don't think we're at it. I think when it comes to physical battles, I think we shy away with it sometimes. I think because we're too nice and too technical, and I think when the technical ability doesn't happen for us, it's right, what we got to do now, and I think we've shown it glimpses in Europe. I think if you do that in these games, then I think you win the game. I've always says if guys like McGregor turn up, I think you win the game. If Carlton gets you fit in the ball and plays and passes and he wins the midfield battle, I think we win the game. Because it was the same as Scott Brown played. Scott Brown played well. Celtic won because Scott Brown was physical and he was... what we don't do is, I think, see when we're maybe 1-0 down or we're nothing each or it's not really going all right, we've not got somebody that nails somebody. I'm not saying break legs, I'm not saying anything like that, but Scott Brown used to do a tackle right on the touchline, the crowd would get up, or the fans, it gets wee small things like that. The dark arts, I don't think we do really well. So it's things like that I think we'll need to put into play, because I think they'll have it abundance. You'll be asking who doesn't get booked for whatever reason, like Alan said, the referee, hopefully if he makes 1 or 2 fouls, he gives him a card, because the last few games Ralston had a free-for-all. In Europe as well, has a free-for-all, kicks and elbows and kicks, but he gets away with it. We need to have somebody that goes, here you, that's not happening. I'm not saying do anything bad to him, but let him know he's there. That's probably one thing I'll give, probably a small criticism that we don't do, is we don't let people know we're there. It's all nice and passes and flicks and nice goals. It's no...
I agree with Ryan that Scott Brown wasn't the most physical player you'd ever see, but he was intimidating. The way he came across, the way that he played the game, the players the opposition were maybe intimidated by a player like Scott Brown.
But I like Alan. He had that obviously Bazzi played with him with Scotland, and he obviously knows him very well. And he's got aura about him when he played. He had that fear factor right away. So no, I think for me, JP, I'm expecting what Alan says as well. I think it'll be a physical game. But I think again, we'll probably say it every game. But if our technical ability does turn up and we match it with a bit of physicality, for me, it's just one winner. I think if we do the right things, we win the game. If we don't misplace passes without Celtic Park in the first half, if we start quicker, I think you're probably going to win the game. But the last few games we've no started well when the manager said it. So I think it's starting on the front foot, because I think they'll try and do that. So I think it's got to be a bit nip and tuck the first few minutes. There might be 1 or 2 bad tackles in the first early doors. The crowd's going to be buzzing. So I think try and get an early goal, get the crowd in a downer, and you go for it. But I think it's got to be physical, JP. I don't know how bad it's going to be physicality, but I'm going to give it an. I think it could be the referee's got to take a bit of control, because I can see them being, like Baz says, hyped up for it. And I think if you then get a goal, JP, quite early doors, get the first goal, that goes for that to move right away. But energy zaps at them. So I think if you get the first goal early on, JP, I think that'll be crucial.
Yeah, it certainly has worked in the past for us. Baz, obviously on to Celtic. You look at the injuries as Alan touched upon there. He never named any names, but obviously, as we know now, JOTA is going to be on the sidelines now between 6 to 9 months, Brendan says, with this injury that he's got to his knee. And he's was it his
ACL,
was it right?
Cruciate.
Cruciate, his ligament. So obviously that's going to be some time he's going to be out. And then we hear as well that ALASTAIR Johnston needs an injection in order to at least have him ready for the cup final. Seemingly he's been struggling for a wee while, so it was all about, Brendan says, it was all about getting the league secured and then giving him the time to rest and recuperate. So obviously, knowing that now, mate, what do you think that does to a Celtic side? Do you think that significantly weakens us, or do you think we'll still be okay going into this game on Sunday?
Well, it definitely does weaken the team. Obviously, they're two key players and two starters every week. So, no doubt you do get weakened with the two of them coming out. But as we said before on here, you've got enough in that changing room to come in. I think Forrest will be there. You get Adam Ida who can come in for Jota, James Forrest, Yang, Kuhn. There's loads of options in the front line. Obviously, Anthony Ralston will be probably the one that comes in for ALASTAIR Johnston, and he's shown that he can do a job once called upon. But no doubt it will be weakened. But we've said it before on here that the Celtic squad has been a lot better this season with people getting injured, and we've had it already this season with players being injured, and we've got results. So Sunday should be no different. It shouldn't be an excuse that, we've got Jota out, we've got ALASTAIR Johnston out. There's been teams going to IBROX that are way less than Celtic this season in the last 8 games, as you've named, and getting results. So just because we've lost Jota and Anthony Ralston shouldn't cause us too much problems. Obviously, there'll be a big miss, but there's been teams with lesser squads than us in the last 6-7 games at IBROX get results. So I don't see it as an excuse. Obviously, we'll weaken the team, but we should have more than enough to get the result.
Do you think also, I've seen arguments put forward about Anthony Ralston. I know Ryan was talking about a player with the dark arts. Tony Ralston has that level of physicalness in him that he doesn't back out of challenges, mate, and especially playing against them. We've seen him before at IBROX, like the way he celebrates coming off when he's giving it all this to the camera, and you see what it means to him alone. Obviously, we've seen him tackle people at IBROX as well. I mean, he ironed out Ryan Kent in one of the games not so long ago. We've seen him being on the other end of files with Morelos stamping on him, jumping on his back and stuff like that. But that's all down to Ralston himself. So do you think there's a good argument there as well for Tony Ralston to give us a level of physicality there that maybe, as Ryan says, some of the other guys don't provide?
Yeah, it's an ideal game for him. As you say, he's one of the diehard. There's no many in that changing room who are diehard Celtic fans. And he's one of them who will be dying to play in that game. So I think physically it's a perfect game for him. But in these games as well, like Alan touched on, you need a calm head and your quality needs to come out on the ball as well. It's not just about being physical and being up and strong and winning your tackles. That's a bonus, but you need to be calm when you're in the ball as well. And I think he'll be fine, totally fine. And I'm looking forward to seeing him playing, because in these games, I know I'm saying I want people good in the ball as well, but you have to see a tackle in these games, and he's got it in abundance. And as you said, he knows what it's all about. He's played in these games before and relished it. So hopefully Sunday's another game that he proves some of the doubters that he's got left wrong, because he's been solid whenever called upon, and I'll be glad to see him in the starting lineup on Sunday. No, obviously I'd prefer ALASTAIR Johnston, but I think he's more than capable of going in and acquitting himself quite well. He's not really let us down this season, so I can't see it happening again on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that's a fair argument there, Alan, isn't it? The way Baz says about Tony Ralston, about his 100% commitment, and you know, he does the same for Scotland. He might not be everybody's favourite choice of player, and people saying things that he's only in a team now because he's injured or he's not playing. But you can only be called upon when you are called upon to do the job, and he seems to give his all for Scotland as well. But he is one of those players, isn't he, that loves a tackle, and he's not one of the players that will shy away from that. And as Baz says there, mate, the game on Sunday's well needed for maybe something like that.
Aye, obviously, as we've touched upon, I think the players that are missing, it obviously brings down the... I don't want to say that too flippantly, but because these are kind of professional footballers that have reached a very, very high level, but it brings down the quality when you look at regards to between ALASTAIR Johnston and as well as Anthony Ralston's done. It does bring more of a physicality, but I was thinking the other day, with this kind of setup with Barry Ferguson managing, with the kind of input that he'll have in their players, I think this game might have a couple of red cards in it. As Anthony Ralston, one of the players that could maybe over tackle. I'm probably sure he'll get a wee booting here or there. But Barry's your guy to ask for that anyway. A wee booting here or there, innit? But no, I think it's good to show a controlled level of physicality as well. I think these are the games that sometimes I've seen in years gone past that can kind of spiral out of control, and you don't want to be down to 10 men, 9 men, etc., especially away from home and their ground. So there needs to be controlled physicality. Anthony Ralston can bring that. He is capable to bring that. Obviously, if you had the ideal choice, I think you would probably still want ALASTAIR Johnston there, because I think he does bring that level of quality that we haven't got with regards to any kind of other right back within the club. But we are where we are. There is injuries are kind of always going to happen in football. You know, I think we've probably had a decent run of fitness this year, to be fair. I think we've had a bit of luck, to be honest. There's no been a great deal of massive injuries, shall we say. There's been a few here and there. So these things are going to happen in football. We just need to get behind the players now. I'm sure kind of Brendan will be saying it's their opportunity to come in and kind of stake their claim. It's their opportunity to come in and show what they can do in kind of big games like that. So, yeah, just need to get behind the players. And hopefully whoever the 11 is and whoever the squad is on Sunday, they can turn up and show that they're kind of worthy to pull on the green and white hoops.
Yeah, Ryan, obviously when we seen Jota go down up at Tannadice at the weekend, mate, you knew right away that wasn't just a daft wee niggle or something tickling him. We knew right away there was a bit of pain there. You could see the pain he was in. He's putting a hand up for high fives, but he's really signalling the medical staff to get on as quick as. But just to hear the news about the severity of it, it's actually quite frightening when you just a daft wee hang, mate. His studs get caught and he goes to move one way and then he falls off the back of it, mate. It just shows you how quickly something like that can happen to you, mate.
I like I've always says, mate, football can be a short career for some people, and injuries like that can happen. And listen, I hope to God he comes back the same player, because if it's an ACL, that's a hard injury. Again, I didn't play that level, but I done my PCL and I was finished. I'm done since then. So Van Dijk, has he been the player since? He's come back to a good level, but I don't know if he's been the best player since. When he's probably come back to a decent level anyway. He's still high, he's still amazing, but is he better than he was? I don't know. Obviously, I don't watch Liverpool every game. Liverpool fans might say that, but some injuries can knock you for six. Just look at Mickey Johnson when he was here. Started off flying, injury after injury after injury, and then he, for whatever reason, at Celtic, he's not cut it. So injuries can. I just hope he comes back the same player. But like Brendan says, you'll have all the support. He's got a brilliant medical team here at Celtic. He'll get all the best care to get back to full fitness. And I think as well, it's maybe a wee. I know he did mention it, his presser, but it'll be a wee nudge to the board, right? Checkbook out, go and sign a top winger, because you've got to place him. You've got the playoffs coming up. We need to make sure we get in the Europe, the format. So Yang and Forrest, would you say they're starters at the moment? Probably no. So you're left with Nicholas Kuhn. So you'll probably need to sign somebody, and the man's did say that they will. That's going to be happening anyway. So I think it maybe nudges that up a wee bit now. I think it'll maybe the scouting department will need to, right, listen, get on that now. It'll need to be done for the summer, because I think the playoffs are certainty that we need to get through that. So it's a shame from Jackie, because you can see he was starting to get back to fitness, and I think he's class. I think he's absolutely brilliant. He's a joy to watch, and even when he's not performing well, you still think he's got to do something. You still think he's going to get you a goal or create a chance, and it'd have been brilliant to play at IBROX on Sunday. It'd have been a massive outlay for us. Something different away from home as well, when maybe the pressure's maybe on you. Get the ball to him and he'll take it down. He'll take you a run up the park, and I don't know what you think of this, Baz, but for me, in certain games like that where you're under pressure, somebody like yourself who's a good ball carrier, you can take the ball into midfield and play a pass. That relieves the pressure and it gets the ball up the park. I think sometimes, Baz, even a guy who was good for us was guys like Ayer. He might have not been the best defensively, but he used to take the ball into midfield and spray it wide. And for me, sometimes under pressure, Baz, that's priceless to take some of that pressure off.
No, of course, he's one of the players that, when you're talking about these pressure games at the weekend where they're going to come out and press, he can beat a press so easily with his ability. So he will be a big miss, of course he will. His football and intelligence to get out of tight situations is amazing. So he'd have been massive for us on Sunday, because, like I said, he's a player that he's kind of got a bit of everything. He's got pace, his technique to see a pass or to dribble tight areas and get you up the park, when you throw-ins, when you fouls, take the pressure off. He's probably he's the best we've got in the team at doing that. So he will be a miss, because, like I said, he's arguably one of the best players we've got. But it's just a shame that you said it's an ACL. It's not a very nice injury at all. You always panic in football. I think in recent years, as the technology and that's got a lot better, it's not as bad now as it might have been 5, 6, 7 years ago. Obviously, we're a lot further down the line with recovery and things that actually can help you and speed you up and get back for that. And obviously the state-of-the-art equipment that they've got at Lennox Town will play a part. The best physios, hopefully, and the specialists. So I'm hoping he does come back to how he was before he got injured, and I don't see why he won't. He's not had a lot of mileage in his body. It's not as if he's at an age where it's a panic. So I'm sure he'll come back and probably, hopefully, be better for it. Because no doubt this time off as well, he'll look at building himself up probably a bit more in the gym. He'll be in the gym a lot more and all that. So I'm sure you'll still see the same, if no better, Jota when he comes back. But it's a shame, because you don't want to see anybody getting injured, and especially an ACL.
Yeah, Baz, obviously I'll start with yourself, mate. In terms of the team on Sunday, how do you reckon we're going to shape up going into the game?
I think it'll be... I seen Kasper Schmeichel was at training this morning, but I can't really see him coming in. I think he'll be more for the final. I think Sinisalo starting goal. He's obviously done really well. It's any time he's come in. The only doubts I have is when there's a full press on, he doesn't fill me with confidence, whereas Kasper Schmeichel, so good with his feet and can, especially in a cauldron it's going to be on Sunday, when they've got a full press and we'll have to play back to the goalie a lot. I just can see Sinisalo going quite direct, and it lifts them when you kick the ball away or you kick it out the park. It livens the crowd up for their side. So I'd have loved to see Schmeichel and go on Sunday, but I think it'll be obviously Sinisalo. It'll be too early for Schmeichel. I think the back four will be the same. I think apart from obviously Alistair Johnson, who's injured, I think Ralston will come in for him, be Carter Vickers, Scales and Greg Taylor. the midfield three, I would like to see a bit different, but I think it will be the same three that it's been. Engels, Hatate, Cal McGregor.
What would you like to see?
I would like to see Cal Mack, Hatate, and I'd like to see Luke McCowan instead of Engels. I don't think he's hit the heights. I know his stats wise I've always had question marks, and I think the last game against Rangers, where he had to play a deep line, a different role to what he's used to, I didn't think he didn't take it as well as I thought he would have. And I think, like we talk about with the dark arts and physical, I think Luke McCowan would be a great pick for the game at the weekend. I think, as he's come out and talked about him winning the title, and I know, listen, I'm not saying pick somebody on them based on him being a Celtic fan. I'm talking about Luke McCowan will gaze on in Sunday, and I just think Carney Engels, I don't know, I've just got something about him that I think when teams get in and around him, he doesn't like it. I don't think he's no mobile enough, because I think as an athlete, he's unbelievable. I just think when it's tight and people are in and try to nick the ball off him, I don't think he's got that. And I think with Luke McCowan, his low centre of gravity, he can get away the same as Hatate. I think Arnie Engels turns the ball out a lot when teams presses. I would like to see Luke McCowan, but I can't see it. I think it will be Engels, McGregor, Hatate, and the front three will be Maeda on the left, Adam Eade up top, and Nicholas Kuhn on the right. And I think
normally
we'll win.
Can you go?
I think we'll win 3-1.
Okay, normally I wait to the end and then I give my prediction. I'm going to be quick to mine. So I think it'll be Sinisalo, Ralston, CCV, Scales and Taylor. I think the midfield will be Callum McGregor, Rio Hatate, and I think Paolo Bernardo will come into the midfield on Sunday. I think the front three will be Maeda, Eade, and Nicholas Kuhn. Right, I'll come to you, Alan. What do you think the team will be, mate?
I think mine's the exact same. I think we've been forced upon. It's no any criticism with what I've said earlier, says to use. I think with the injury to Jota, we've been forced upon that he does coming in. I think probably Brendan would have rather played Maeda through the middle. I think when you look at the centre halves that the opposition have got, with regards to kind of probably looking at Suter and Balogun, I think you'd cause them a lot more problems with kind of Diaz and Maeda playing through the middle. I think they're probably more suited to deal with kind of bulky, big number 9, shall we say. So I'll go for the start. That's just my excuse for kind of my reasoning behind why I'd say Adam Eade is playing. But I think it'll be Sinisalo, Ralston now because of AJ, Carter Vickers, Scales, Taylor. I get some of what Barry's saying about Engels, but I think Engels has looked pretty decent the last couple of games. I know it's been kind of convincing wins. I think he didn't look the best when we played Rangers maybe last. But I think they'll stick with Engels, with McGregor and Hatate. And then I think it will be maybe Maeda as well, the left-hand side, you're looking at, when I say earlier, that Rangers might kind of target more wing positions, or fullbacks. So I think with having Maeda on that wing position, I think that gives a wee bit more defensive cover, shall we say, instead of if you played a Yang or such. So I think it will be Maeda, Nicholas Kuhn. It's between Nicholas Kuhn or James Forrest, but I think it will be Nicholas Kuhn, and then Adam Eade up front. And I think it'll be closer. I think maybe 2-1 Celtic.
So I think it'll be 3-0, but I think one of the goals will be provided by Yang when he comes off the bench. So there's my prediction as well.
You're on, didn't you?
I just think he'll score. I've got a funny feeling if he gets to play some part of the game, then I predict him to score. Right?
I think the same back line. I'm agreeing with Baz with Sinisalo. I think this is a big game for him. It's probably the biggest game for us in the moment since he's come into the team. This will test him. Like Baz says, the atmosphere, and it will be a bit ferocious. It will be hectic the first 5-10 minutes. He'll need to be good with the ball at his feet. If he makes one mistake, he can set him off. But if he gets his first kick right or his first kind of closing down pressing, then it'll give him a bit of confidence. But for me, it's a big game for him. So hopefully he'll because maybe it's not a similar situation. Like I think when Bannan was here, was Neil Wynn, when Scott Bain was in goals, and he fell in the deep end, and we were, how's he going to be here? And to be fair, he'd be brilliant that game. He saved one. Morella's on the line. He was superb, and I think it's probably the best game he's ever played with Celtic. One of the last games he actually played. So I'm not saying that's the sort of game with Sinisalo, but I think it's a big game for him. So hopefully he'll, like Baz says, he's.
On you go, Baz.
I don't have a problem with him short stopping and saving. I think he'll be sound with that. I think he'll have a good game. That way, it's just the kicking for me, and well, even the kicking. I'm almost saying I mean the composure, because
he actually comes out there, doesn't he? This one, and he punches.
I don't like that punching and slapping, but
I don't mind.
There's a lot of times you can catch it, and he doesn't. He comes out there, but he's flapping at things. When he can, I get that. See if you can only flap at it, then do that. But see if there's an opportunity that you can go and catch that ball, catch the ball. And there's been a few times I've gone, that is an easy catch. It looks like it's no hard cross, and he's kind of slapping and punching it away. I'm not so sure I'm a massive fan of that kind of action.
By the way, I wouldn't be like to on the receiving end of one of the punches, Alan, I'll tell you, because he looks solid. Every time he does it, man, he gets a good bit of height distance on that ball.
Sometimes when they do that, goalkeepers, they can kind of, sometimes they miss that. You know what I mean? So if you've got the opportunity to come out and just kind of grasp it and catch the ball, I think that should always be the first.
Done it?
Punch.
I think I'm agreeing with Alan in terms of the wings. I think the last few games against him, we've not been good with close balls either. Defensively, corners, we always look, for whatever reason, the last 2 or 3 games against him, every corner you think we're going to concede. So I think that's something I hope they've been working on, because the last game we played at IBROX, every ball in the box, I'm like, it's a goal. For whatever reason, that game, I don't know what happened, but I think so. Same back line. I think it'll be a big game for Sinisalo. I'm agreeing with Baz. I think it will, and yourselves. I think I can see your point, JP, with Bernardo, but he's not played enough football for me recently to come into this game personally. I can see again McKibben. Has he played enough? I don't know, but I can see Baz's argument with that as well. He's physical and throws a big curveball as well, because they're probably going to expect angles. So I don't think they'll expect McKibben or Bernardo to play. I think he'll expect Celtic to continue with the team because of how well they're playing. I've been a fan of angles, but I'm agreeing with Baz, and I do think it's a big game for him to turn up, because this is where you pay your big money for. Big guys turn up in these games. I don't think he's turned up in the games he's played. I know the last game at IBROX, he was no well. He was on the bench. He came on, so you can give him that game. But the game at Celtic Park, he was posting missing. 2 or 3 games after that, he was posting missing. So if he plays, it's a big game for him, I think, to go and start his stuff. And probably if there's any Celtic fans that doubt him, or anybody who thinks he's no good enough, so listen, I'm good enough. But that's the games you need to do it in, like Baz says. In isolation, these are the games, if you play well and the fans remember you for scoring or making that pass or making that set piece goal or whatever. So I think he will go with the same midfield, but I could totally understand if he played McKibben or Bernardo. I could understand it, because I don't think Engels has done well in the games to probably merit playing in it. So, but I think McGregor being back in is a massive plus, because he didn't play the last game, and you've seen the first half, we looked lost. We just looked like no organisation, no leadership, and I think he's massive. So I think it'll be that. I think he's got a bit of dilemma what he does up top, because I think if he plays Maeda out wide, then I think he nullifies Tavernier. He nullifies that totally, and it gives Greg Taylor back up, because I'm not his biggest fan, but he's done well recently, Greg Taylor. But sometimes at IBROX he's been sold as jersey doing that line sometimes recently. So I think it's Maeda gives him that protection, but it lets Taylor then go inside more, knowing he's got that cover and he's not having to worry about defending. He can go and play midfield and play that inverted role well. So he can do that. Or personally, what I would do is I think James Forrest might play. Big game player, experience. He knows go to IBROX. He knows to win these games. He's scored in these games. It could be a fairy tale for him to go and get his first goal of the season, score at IBROX, win the game. So I think then he's got a dilemma what he does. Either way, no matter what he does, I'm happy with it. But me personally, I think he's going to go with James Forrest, Nicholas Kuhn, and Daz Meda up top.
So you don't think you'll play either then? No.
What's if I'm Ida, I would be annoyed at.
I wouldn't play either, but I think he will.
No, I think if I'm Ida and I've scored 2 goals and I've helped to win the league, and I would be annoyed not to be playing. So listen, if he's not playing, I'd be annoyed. But I'm just going for probably experience in this game as well with Forrest. And to be fair, Barry, it's probably a big game as well for Nicholas Kuhn, because he didn't perform well last game at IBROX and Celtic Park. Missing, and I don't like using that word, but he was hiding. He was didn't like the physical stuff. He wasn't tracking back. So I think it's a big game for certain players to no turn up overall in a career, but in these games to go and put a mark down and turn up and put a game in.
Yeah, I think they're all pretty fair predictions, decent reasons for that. I think now it's a foregone conclusion who from the Championship will come up into the Premier League definitely next season, and that's Falkirk 3-1 up on the night now against Hamilton. And as it currently stands now in the 71st minute, Partick Thistle were 1-1-0 against Livingston. So I think that's that well and truly over and done with in terms of who's coming up automatically. So it'll now be down to the playoffs. So it looks like we're going to be having Falkirk back in the Premier League from, I can't remember, was it Casper Schmeichel was wearing my last time they were in the Premier League?
Possibly.
I think so. It was at Gordon Strachan, wasn't it? Or Mowbray, I think.
Lee Wilkie.
I think so, I think he was. No, I think he was playing him.
Lee Wilkie.
Who was the manager of Falkirk then?
Was it John
Husey, no?
Was it John
Maybe
Hughes?
John Hughes,
Might have been, actually, aye.
Because they couldn't come up due to the stadium stuff, couldn't they? No?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you know what I just thinking about there as well? I've gone back to the Celtic game at the weekend. They pressed us really well in the first half at Celtic Park, but we never had McGregor, who beats the press so many times. And now you get Greg Taylor. Jeffrey Slutt played that game, and no disrespect to Slutt, but he doesn't play the inside role as good as Greg Taylor. So it'll be interesting to see if they do the same as they done at Celtic Park and try to press us, because you've got the main man in there now with Callum McGregor, who stops teams pressing us, whether they like it or not. It's hard to press him because he's got an answer for everything, and he'll have his mate next to him who'll be inverting, helping him as well. So I was just thinking whether they will press, because I'm hoping they do press now with them two in the team, because I think it'll be a field day for us if they press, because I've seen them a lot of times pressing and they leave the two centre mids wide open with Raskin and whoever it may be, Diamondi. I know the young boy Bailey Rice has been playing, but I think the attackers, when they press, they're no great at it. They can be good at it if you panic and kick the ball long. I think we've done that a few times. Our passes weren't great at Celtic Park, but I think with McGregor back and Greg Taylor, there'll be answers for that press now. So it'll be interesting to see. I think that's just something.
Do you think as well, Baz, that if he does play Ida or he does play Maeda, do you think, because he done it against United on Saturday when Ida came on, we went there direct instead of playing the ball through. It caused United a lot of issues with the ball at the tap. Taylor Ida, or do you think he might change that and go, if he does play Ida, then as much as I'm agreeing with Alan, they might prefer that. But instead of playing it to him, you play it to Maeda at the tap, because we know Tavernier, pace-wise, he's slowing down. Maeda's got his number all the time. And the fact that Maeda's better technically now, in my opinion, he's get coached better, he's on a really good run of form, and he just looks more comfortable in the ball. The fact that maybe Ida is getting that knack of scoring goals, I think that actually might suit us better going direct than beating that press.
I think, listen, I love Maeda through the middle, but we've got injuries. I think Adam Maeda's got to play through the middle in case the press is good. Because there will be some times where they get it right and you can't. get out. Do you know what I mean? So I think you've got to have that option of just missing out the press. And the last couple of games, especially against Dundee United, I thought they opened up the centre of the pitch brilliantly, the Celtic midfield, and left the ball straight into Ida's feet when the midfielders then getting off the back of their midfielders and Ida was setting it. I thought he'd done it brilliantly, Adam Ida, at times. Listen, I've been critical of him this season as well. But I think in recent weeks, I know the last couple of games he's scored, so people are starting to say, but I think he's done well the last couple of weeks. He's link-up play as well, and I just think going there, I know the likelihood is they're going to press and think, just get at them, they'll gaze the ball. They won't respect us. They'll come for us, and rightly so, but I think you've got to have that option of Adam Ida. I know Maeda is unbelievable running in behind, but you very rarely get a ball for your centre-back getting launched out the top of another defence and you're clean through and goal. It needs to be a bit more than just a hopeful ball. And I think the better ball is just dropping it over the midfielders and letting the big man fight with the centre-backs. And I think he'll be a big part of if we get a good result or no, because he's going to be vital.
But I think he's one-touch layoffs the last few weeks, mate, have been absolutely deadly, man. He's the wee pockets of space he finds just outside the box, and it's just as if it's an autopilot. He just knows where they're going to be, and it's not even that as well. I believe his fitness has increased slightly as we've went on now as well, in terms of, because he was hitting a layoff earlier in the season, and then he wasn't able to go on. If he was looking for a 1-2, he wasn't able to get on the other end of that. Now he's back in. He's spinning, and he's back in before you know it, and that's how he's getting, as you said, a lot of the balls are getting played into him now to be the main focal point for them to run in off him.
Do you know what will play a big part as well? And this is how I think he's nailed on to start. Set pieces, because we're terrible at defending set plays, and he's a zonal man who gives you that extra bit of height in there as well. I think we had Jota, Maeda and Kuhn as the front three at Celtic Park. And then
they height at all on one that at all.
They height in the front three, and then you're asking your back four, Slop, was it Naroki, Carter Vickers and Alistair Johnson, who are decent sizes. No, Carter Vickers is no massive for a centre-half. And then we had the midfield three, who Engels is a fair size, and obviously Hatate. I just think Adam Ida's a stick-on to play for. His physical ability and set plays will be massive, because their first goal came for a set play, and because there's a few other problems for set plays as well. And I think you need that extra bit of height, especially with Greg Taylor coming in for Schlupp as well. He's not the biggest Greg, so you need to make it up at different areas. So I think that's why Adam Ida will definitely play.
There you go, Ryan.
No,
what's your prediction, Ryan? What did you say your prediction is?
What did I say?
5-0 Rangers.
Thought somebody says 17-7. Let's look at it. I thought that was a prediction for the game.
Aye.
I don't want us to concede, so I don't want to say we're going to concede. So I'll go 3-0. Maybe I've been too optimistic, but I know I've said it in the past on here, but I just think this time will be different. I just think the manager will not want to have another defeat in his CV. Listen, we all know that he's an egotistic maniac. He loves the pressure. He loves getting praised. He loves it. He loves that. So he won't want to have that on his CV. That no disrespect Barry Ferguson, but to beat off him twice, beat off Philip Clement, that managers who failed possibly at Rangers, won't want that in his CV either. So it'll be pride in him as well. He want to come out and show that I can go to Ibrox again and win. And listen, he's been brilliant for us against Rangers. He's at records stand brilliant. So listen, I'm very optimistic with different JP. I know it all seems like that on here, that it's going to be different with the way we're talking. But for me, I don't know I think you mentioned it, Baz, but for me, I think McGregor's a massive plus. I think that having him back in the team, I just think he's a different dimension. It gives you, like you say, leadership yourself. You know, being your captain yourself, you know how important leadership is, mate. And I personally feel that if he turns up, he wins the battle and he gets the ball front foot. I think for me, Baz, he wins the game for you, because I think he's that good.
Spot on.
You're not playing.
He's massive, like you said. He's a leader as well. So you're not just losing the footballing ability, you're losing. Seen Brendan say it the other day. He's a manager on the park as well, and especially at their place, it's massive that he's on there.
Is that true? By see, obviously you've been the captain yourself, and obviously a manager can only say so much at the side. Is that obviously for me? I think it's true, but for you on the park, do you yourself or other guys in the team, do you need to say things because obviously it's that much? Even yourself, Sheffield Wednesday, it's a massive crowd. It's the atmosphere. Do you need to manage things on the park for the manager?
Well, there's no many people on that pitch, is there? Let's get it right, that are going to talk. So the midfield three, he's the only one that will be speaking. Mm-hmm. Hatate won't say much. Engels won't. We've got Carter Vickers who might. Scales will. Greg Taylor, who will be back in hopefully this weekend and start again. He'll speak. So
does Jamesy talk, Baz? Does Forrest talk?
A wee bit, I know, but no overly. But you've got Taylor and Callum McGregor, who were missing for the last game, who are going to be vital. And I think, as much as we're saying McGregor, I think Greg Taylor's massive. As much as he lacks defensively, I think he gives you so much going forward and makes teams. That's how you create pressure, because he's another person. You see the ball when you got it in around their box, they won it back, the other team wins it back. He's there winning it back straight away and keeping teams camped in. And he's just an extra player in the middle for them to deal with and to worry about.
Yeah.
As with his leadership skills, he's talking. Don't get me wrong, I would probably rather Jeffrey Slip defend against Cherney, but I don't think we've got to worry about. We should be worried about what we want to do on Sunday and know what they're going to do, because we are the better team. So that's why you've got to go with Greg Taylor, because why would you play somebody who you want to defend, but we're in a possession-based team? Surely you play your best left back who's comfortable on the ball, and Greg's probably the one for that game. So I think he's massive. As much as we say Callum McGregor, of course, but I think Greg Taylor will be a big player for us on Sunday.
Yeah. That's why Ryan, he was nicknamed Wee Oxo, mate, because he's absolutely different gravy. I keep saying it.
I wouldn't go that far, but he's good.
That's why he was nicknamed a long ago Wee Oxo, because he's absolutely different. He gives you that.
Oh, is it because he crumbles then? Oxo's crumbles.
What is it? He's got that. Remember the old advert on the telly? He's got that va-va-voom when he goes inside the pitch. That no.
Hopefully this Thursday come back to bite us Sunday night.
We're getting clipped, man. We're going to go on the Heart and Hand podcast show, man. Aye.
30 seconds in, so it's like, "Why, he's done it
already." Aye. No, I really don't see it coming back to bite us, boys. I really don't. But
the Oxford's just dissolved.
Aye. Oil the pitch. He's everywhere. No, I really don't see it coming back to bite us. But lads, listen, Baz, again, mate, it's good to have you on. I know you've got a game tomorrow, mate, and obviously you finish up your season and whatnot tomorrow. So I want to say a massive thanks for taking the time the Friday night to come and have a chat with us, mate.
No, not a problem, obviously. It's always good to come on. Love talking about football, and especially Celtic as well. So, and you play a part in it as well, obviously, for inviting me on. It's nice to see you again.
Nice.
I'm on every 3 weeks, because I think every week with Ryan I'd be on the half-time show with him as well, I think. I'd drive me to that half-time show with him. So that's how I do it, every 3 weeks instead of every week. But no, it's been brilliant to be on again tonight, and thanks for inviting me.
Not a problem.
Thank
Lads,
you.
it's been good to get a wee chat with you as well. No doubt I'll be hearing for you depending on how Sunday goes, man. I'll need to mute my group chat, man. It'll be going mental. Depending on how Sunday goes.
The first minute. I told
Can't believe he scored their own goal. What did I say?
Ryan will be going Pulp Fiction on Liam Scales.
That's why I should be playing. I told you so.
Aye.
No, it's always
Navrotsky, when he had done that, Navrotsky cleared that half a line at Celtic Park.
No, like you say, it's always great to get Baz on, and obviously, like, see, even mentioned like McKibben, didn't even think of that. It's wee small things, like Baz says, you go away and you think, all right, I actually think about that. And again, I'll say a privilege to get Baz on here and talk to him and get his insights, because listen, it's not something you get often, mate, to get a professional player insights, and it does change your mind. So, especially after these Derby games. So, again, it's always good to chat to Baz. And again, mate, all the best tomorrow, mate. Hope you can the season high. And I know he's worked hard all season, mate. So, it's good to get the last victory of the season, especially away from home as well, for away fans as well. So, all the best tomorrow, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
Oh, thank you, Barry. All the best tomorrow, mate. Hope you finish the season off on a high. Then we can polish it off with a good result on the Sunday.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully, like you said, you always want to end your season with a win, because it's a long time till you're back, stewing out a loss. So I think we deserve to give the away fans who have travelled all season a win tomorrow and send them in happy. And then, as we say, Sunday morning, I can wake up and look forward to the green side doing the business over there. And you never know, it could be parties all around in Wonderbar for a week or 2 weeks until the cup final, because
it's all right for you, wee man. You're not on for another 3 weeks, man. I've got to do the Monday Island show with these two if you get beat.
All right for you. Me and Ryan's got him all on my ones.
Aye.
In the training.
No, we're just staying Wonderbar. We're just staying Wonderbar until the Scottish Cup final, mate. I'll just make a point for the table in the room, won't we?
Aye. Just sleep there, aye.
Is any two could do that?
I'll get bunk beds in there with Big Phil.
I'll take Liam's kills, mate. She's might need the bleach in case we lose, so we'll be there anyway, you know what I mean?
John Shooter's left his tie in there. I think you'll get in all right. Don't worry about
that. And you come, Soapy, you'll be served anytime. You will be served.
Apparently, handcuffed Big Leon Balogun up to the bar.
But that kind of night, I'm going to have a half-10 show. I'll get me subs.
Aye, 100%. But no, listen, everybody that's tuned in with us across the platforms, thank you yet again for coming on and listening in, and cheers for all your comments as well, folks. If anybody's going to IBROX, you're lucky enough to get there, or unlucky enough, should I say, then please do enjoy your day. If MD's going into town for anything, or you're going to watch it, please do enjoy your day. For everybody that is watching it, enjoy your day and stay safe and take care. Hail, hail. And as I said there, we'll be back Monday night with the dial-in, win, lose or draw. We might start. You going to come on as well, wee man? There you go. I've had it from a man himself. We'll be back on Monday, so we're not going to have to wait 3 weeks from after all. It's only going to be 3 days. Tremendous.
I'm not confident I'll be on Monday.
Wee man's going to be on. And if he's not, it's going to be like a cardboard cutout of Barry Bannan sitting in a chair.
Pop at that.
Sorry, Barry, can't be here. He's fucked off to Wonderbar with the rest of the squad.
Oh, man.
I don't know if he's laughed at me. I used to do that to me for PE. I used to get into PE and hold my teacher and on. It says on it, sorry, JP, can't attend your class. He's fucked off to the chip van.
Barry can't make it. He's having waffles with Big Phil.
He's teaching Big Phil how to make waffles. Tremendous. But take care, lads. All the best. Have a good weekend. We'll see you all again.
All the best, lads.
See you later.
Bye-bye.